Today we are comparing all 5 of the yellow Citadel Warhammer contrast paints. At the brighter end we've got Bad Moon Yellow and Imperial Fist. Ironjawz is just a little bit deeper. Then Iyanden starts bringing in much warmer tones before Nazdreg Yellow takes us into something considerably darker. Let's have a closer look at each one. Starting with Bad Moon Yellow, and this is definitely the brightest and most vivid yellow of the 5. Coverage is good, but there's very little actual contrast here. You get this incredibly bright, almost fluorescent yellow, but it behaves more like a strong single coat colour than a traditional contrast paint. Next is Imperial Fist, and this is probably my pick if what you want is just a really good, clean yellow. Coverage is excellent, it flows much better than Bad Moon Yellow, and again there's not a huge amount of contrast, but you get a really strong, vibrant yellow incredibly easily. Ironjawz Yellow is actually very similar to Imperial Fist, especially under bright lighting, but side by side it's just a little bit deeper and darker, and you can see it's starting to give us slightly more of a contrast effect as well. There's a little more definition in the recesses while still keeping that strong, clean yellow across the raised areas. Iyanden Yellow is where you'd start getting more of what I would consider the traditional contrast effect. There's considerably more variation across the model with bright yellow across the raised areas and these really noticeable reddish-orange tones developing in the recesses. And when you see a close-up, that reddish-orange against the yellow is actually really quite pretty. And finally we have Nazdreg Yellow. Although at this point we're stretching the definition of yellow slightly. This is easily the darkest of the 5 with much deeper golden, ochre and brown tones. There's plenty of definition, but if you're looking for a bright yellow, this definitely isn't going to be it. And here's our collage of close-ups, so you can really see the difference in the colours and the amount of contrast that you're getting from each one. Feel free to pause it here if you want to compare them properly. The big takeaway from me is that contrast paints can make getting a smooth yellow incredibly easy. For armour, I'd go Imperial Fist, then add your own shades and highlights. If you want that contrast already built in, Iyanden is a great option, particularly for things like fabric, while Nazdreg gives you something much darker that could potentially be used for non-metallic gold effects. But if I had to pick just one of the 5, it's Imperial Fist. Fantastic coverage, incredibly easy to use, and my favourite yellow of the bunch. Which one's yours? Let me know in the comments.